The early voting giving us some clues. Who better than to give us the lay of the land than our headliner, Karl Rove, former White House Deputy Chief of Staff to President Bush and a Fox News contributor. How you doing, amigo? Nice to see you, sir.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's going to be a wild night.
I was watching you at 6 a.m. You said so many interesting things. And one of the things you said is that the golden age of polling has gone out the window because nobody answers their phone anymore.
Yeah.
How difficult a job does that make for you and maybe the others?
Oh, yeah, really tough in a campaign because not only do people not have landlines and not answer them, but when people who have cell phones, a lot of people just don't answer a number they don't recognize. So if you're not in the address,
seldom, if ever.
Right. And not only that, but there's a quirky federal law that says you can use an auto dialer to dial up a landline. So if you have a machine that's dialing up all the landlines in America, and as soon as somebody picks it up, that connects them up to an interviewer who's in front of a screen. But the law says you can't use an auto dialer on cell phone numbers. So you have to have somebody who literally dials up those numbers and hopefully gets somebody on the phone, which drives up the cost of polling dramatically, which is why people are trying to do polls now online and creating online samples and blah, blah, blah.
It's kind of the reason why we changed our system this year, too.
Exactly.
Several days, too.
Yeah.
So.
We're all hungry for more data. What are you going to be watching tonight for your first indication of how things are going to turn out?
Well, I'm going to be watching the counties in eastern Indiana and Kentucky 6. Kentucky 6 is around Lexington, Kentucky, the state capital, second most Democratic congressional district in the state, occupied by Republican incumbent Andy Barr, being challenged by one of the star recruits for the Democrats, a war veteran, combat veteran, Amy McGrath. And if the Republicans win it, if Barr comes out really strong, that's going to be a great night for Republicans. If it's narrow Barr win, narrow McGrath win, it's going to be a sign of a long night. If it is a big McGrath win, it's going to be a blowout for the Democrats.
I'm going to show it for us real quick.
Yeah,
all right, go ahead.
Come on over here, Teddy.
There we go. Oh, my God, I get to go over to the board.
You stay right there. You stay right there. Well, you can't do it. That's a little uneven.
What, I can't get too close?
Well, here's my, come on over here. What's interesting about this, stand on over here, Carl, right here. You're taller than Hemmer. What I think's interesting about this, what you point out here, where is it on the map here? Right, sorry, Mid-South, sorry, clicked the wrong one. We'll get all this down later tonight. This is Lexington.
Yeah.
Right, suburbs of Lexington. Why is he not running away with this race?
Because Lexington is the population center. It's a college town. It's the state capital. It's pretty liberal, and it's a dominant force in this. The further you get out into the rural counties and the exurbs, the better off he is. But Lexington itself is pretty Democrat. Okay. I'm now on the same level, so I feel
that's
more
okay.
comfortable.
We want to bring you in the light here too.
If
you could do me a favor here, the Senate race in Arizona. Yeah. Why do you think Sinema and McSally is like the big arbiter of it?
Well, because I think if the Republicans win this, then they stand a likelihood of gaining seats in the Senate. If they lose it, they don't. It's going to be sort of an indicator. It's going to be sort of, they've already started voting out there. They vote early, but it'll close a little bit later in the evening. Obviously, the big county is right here, Maricopa County, most of the state's population. Sinema has represented it for a number of terms in Congress. She started as a Ralph Nader supporter in 2000, ran as a Green Party candidate for the state legislature, lost, was a pretty liberal member of the legislature when she got elected as a Democrat. But after going to Congress, she tried to say to the business community in Phoenix, I'm a business-friendly Democrat. And so McSally, who is a combat pilot, Air Force veteran from Pima County, Tucson, the population's not in her. So she started out with, she came from the smaller part of the state, but it has turned into a really hot race.
Let's go ahead and walk back here, too. She sang the national anthem, too, at the football game the other day. And the home team won. Well, so I don't know what that portends. Well, Sinema had the coin toss, so what does that mean?
She went to Arizona State, but interestingly enough, she belittled Arizona State students when she was a teacher there. And while she may have sung the national anthem, she did say on a radio program with a 9/11 truther that she didn't really care if people went to fight, join the Taliban to fight U.S. troops in Afghanistan. So there's a little bit of disconnect there. So we'll see how it comes out.
The president was asked about whether this is a referendum on him and his presidency. I believe this is with Sean Hannity last night.
It's really about the candidate, but if they want to give me the credit or the liability, I'll be willing to take it.
Okay, so there's that.
Like it or not, every president in a midterm election is on the ballot. This is a referenda on the party in power. That's why in almost every midterm election, the party in power, the party that holds the White House, loses ground in the Congress. And in fact, in the House, since the Civil War, it's only happened 3 times that the party in power has gained seats in the House in a midterm election. So he's right to acknowledge. I think it was smart for him to get it out of the way. And frankly, look, if there's a split decision tonight, it'll be because the Senate map is in states that he's popular.
I want to get this sound in here because this is the one where he's saying that he is, in a sense, on the ticket.
Yeah.
I mean, who ever even heard of midterm? They don't even know what it is. I've had a lot of people say, I don't know what midterm is, but now I'm watching every single minute, and I'm going out to vote. But the key is you have to go out to vote. Because, in a sense, I am on the ticket. You got to go out to vote.
Yeah, look, he's acknowledged this. He's been saying that line. He's honed it. It's gotten crisper and better as the rallies have gone on. But, yeah, he's on the ballot, and better to acknowledge it and get it done with. I love the hats, incidentally, and that was one of my favorite hats. Did you notice the guy in the suit, but he's wearing a fireman's hat to the left of the president? A great hat, but I'd hate to be the guy stuck behind him.
Early voting, what's it tell you? I mean, we're at record numbers right now. It's easier to vote, but it seems like both sides are energized.
Yeah,
I guess ultimately the question is which side has more energy.
A couple of things. Both sides are energized. We're going to have the biggest turnout percentage-wise in a midterm election since 1966. For example, in Florida, the early vote is 77% of what it was in 2016. That's enormous. So the one thing that we're learning is lots of enthusiasm is probably likely to be reflected in today's turnout at the polls on election.
Can I stop you there? Because I remember 2 years ago, we go into our exit polling meeting, and the indications are that Hillary Clinton's winning Florida. We walk out of the room, you make a phone call, you get off the phone, and you say, actually, Republicans are up 100,000 votes.
Yeah.
So are we able to gauge something like this? Because you don't know what the early vote's all about. Are they voting for something or against something?
Well, 2 things. Context matters. Let's take a look at that was early voting and absentee voting. Excuse me, it was early voting, not early and absentee. If you combine them, this time around, Republicans have 40.1% of the early and absentee votes in Florida, and the Democrats have 40.6%.
Difference of half a point.
Half a point. But that's only 24,000 votes. Two years ago, the Democrats combined out of the two had a 96,000 vote margin. This time around, if they were doing the same percentage that they had last time around, they'd have a 72,000 vote margin coming in out of absentee and early voting. So the Republicans are overperforming by 1.8%. Democrats are overperforming by 0.8%. Republicans won last time around by 1.2%. So if Election Day is the same as Election Day 2 years ago, the Republicans should do 2.2% rather than 1.2%. But the key is, here's the other thing. 18.6% of the electorate are independent voters. The difference will be how do the parties could do this year among independents compared to where they were 2 years ago. That could be the difference.
If you could just wrap this up for us, Karl, and do what you do best. Put this midterm election in historical perspective as far as what is at stake.
Well, look, it's unique to this president in a way. The Democrats, when they've taken the House before, they haven't necessarily had somebody who's a juicy target like this. They made it clear they will spend the next 2 years investigating him. In 2006, when Republicans lost the House, we doubled the size of the White House General Counsel's office because of all the threats of investigation, some of which involved yours truly. We didn't hire enough lawyers because it turned out to be worse than we expected. That's nothing compared to the attitude of Democrats today. You have committee chairs like the chairman of Judiciary, Jerry Nadler, chairman of Ways of the House Financial Services, Maxine Waters, the chairman of the Oversight Committee, Elijah Cummings, and a half a dozen others saying they intend to investigate this administration from top to bottom. Homeland Security, you name it. Every federal agency under the direction of President Trump is going to be drawn into some kind of ugly oversight investigation. And the White House staff is going to be covered up. If that's the case, then
Democrats have to figure out what they run on 2 years down the road.
That's right. This could be the worst thing for the president over the next 2 years and the best thing for him in 2020 because it will paint the Democrats as obstructionist and as without anything except animus towards him.
Very interesting. We'll see you later tonight, buddy, okay?
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Karl Rove.
A lot of fun.
Thanks.
You bet.